in the end of that, we also have things that relates to human nature, or we can kick off with our fathers have failed us. So the clip, which was from as an Anton Daniels, I believe. I hope I don't mess his name up. I'm always fumble names. But he had a clip on, I think it's Real Life Superstars or Real Life Productions. I think they based in Texas, about the fact that our fathers failed us horribly.
OGs from yesteryear, they failed us. They lied to us. They told us happy wife, happy life.
And honestly, it's the elders that failed us horribly. And I thought this was a good conversation because me and my older cousins was talking about this outside of our podcast. I'm like, you know what? This is very interesting.
They the most disappointing generation that I've ever seen in my entire life. They fumbled the country. They said happy wife, happy life. They raised their daughters into being feminists. They lost control of their households.
Because all of us come from different homes and backgrounds. And I know we talked about this somewhat about where we come from and how our parents view certain things.
And then they gave us all of that same residual effects and all of those generational curses, and now we got to live with them and we got to fix what it is that they dealing with. That's why you see a lot of guys saying, I don't want to be what my father was. Or my father was a drunk and that's why I don't drink anymore. Or my father wasn't there for me and that's why it is that I treat my kids so well. We trying to fix all of the stuff that they did, and then the next generation is going to be the recipients of our greatness if we go about doing it the right way. But the last generation is the ones that failed us.
But when you look at it in a generational standpoint, based on what we are and what our parents are, it is a very huge difference. It's a very huge difference. And I think a lot of us, well, not to go too deep, I think a lot of us are affected by what our generation did before us when it comes to dealing with us. So, Brother Kazi, being that you're a man from the islands, y'all have different principles when being raised. And I understand you was raised by your grandmother. And I know as of now, from talking to you, and your mother has a very dope relationship. Even you cool with your dad. I haven't talked to you, you're still cool with your dad and stuff like that too. So, from seeing this video, from Mr. Daniel's standpoint, how much verity do you see in that? And verity means the truth. If the audience didn't know, the audience didn't know.
I mean, to be very honest, I could the fathers play a better role or a more intricate role being there, not just on a financial level, but actually on a mental level, like having a conversation, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, because I can only speak for what I've seen growing up or what I experienced growing up. My grand was there a lot. My grand and my granddad. They were there a lot. When I was growing up, whatever the case might be, and everything I learned was through them. I watched my grandfather. He went to work. The regular thing. He went to work. He made sure the house was good, everything, and
Mm-hmm.
but when I was younger, I could not have like a conversation like, listen, granddad, I want to talk to you guys about females, because I make a joke about this. What I would hear is, well, that's what you're thinking about. You're thinking about schoolwork, you know. So,
Right.
a lot of times we had to, keep that with inside, and then, you know, I don't want to say start to say you have to go like, trial and error. Let me see if this worked. Let me see if that worked. And then a lot of the probably the mistakes that you made, you probably would not have made it if it is that. Don't get me wrong. The women, they were always there. They were always there. But for some reason, the males, they were just they were there, but not there in a way like how the mothers would be like a nurturing, be like, like, dad, can I talk to you about this? Can I talk about that? Or them just saying, let me talk to you about something. What do you think about this? You know. So have they failed us? I wouldn't say they failed us because I'm here, and I got like a lot of work ethic from my dad. So I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't say they fail us, but I would say in the area of nurturing and just wanting that quote unquote that soft father figure to be like, yo, what's going on with you? What's going on with you mentally? How is life? All this stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where it is that they fail us
Mm-hmm.
because my grandma and my mom, they can only give me it from a female standpoint. You know what I mean? Even when I look at, Brother X and Brother Komar, when I look at you guys and I see the role that you guys are playing in your children's lives, I'm like, yo, this is It's great, you know. Like, it makes me smile because I know that that child, they're gonna remember that moment when brother X said, "Listen, oh, what do you want to do? Come on, we're gonna do this. Let's go do this. What do you need? You know what I mean? Just be very, very play an active role, not just on a financial basis. Don't get me wrong, finance is good. That's all good. But I can tell you right now, from a personal experience, I would rather me and my dad sit down and have a conversation growing up about just ask me like, how you doing mentally? What's going on in life? How school? You know what I mean? Like versus, well, you got this, you got that, you good. You know what I mean? It's just different. I
Well,
don't know how to explain
I'm
it. So
sorry.
they didn't fail us. Sorry, they did. I don't believe they failed us. I believe that they didn't do enough.
Mm.
You know?
I'm gonna play devil's advocate on one part, but I gotta hear from the doctor. You know what I'm saying? I gotta hear from the southerner. You know who's coming out of Texas, man. As far as from all you know, I understand that Brother Kasi based it around his life, but also you can also address this as a collective because you might have cousins or you know what I'm saying or brothers who may have different parents or something or different father per se that might have a different experience. So Dr. Komar, from you being raised and seeing this video, do you see any truth in that? Whether it's your life or people you grew up around when it comes to the generation before failed us. I know it said fathers failed us, but he's really speaking in the collective for the people over here. So
Yeah, he was saying when I listened to it, and I think I clicked on a link that there was like a longer version of it.
mm-hmm.
And he was saying generations. He was saying like the generation failed us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what he meant by that, it was like we didn't have guidance. And I can agree in some aspects. I'm gonna agree and disagree. So in an agreement, as it, I think the fact that we didn't have guidance of people like telling us like, oh, it was the whole fact that go to work.
Mm-hmm.
Just go to work your 5 days, get your money, come home, take care of your kids. And those aspects, they never told us like what we're doing now. We're teaching our kids how to be entrepreneurs. We're teaching our kids how to do their credit. We're teaching our kids how to take care of home, take care of their wives, take care of their husbands, and things of that nature. They had a union, you know, those aspects. They failed us in those aspects. You know, they didn't teach us about mental health. We struggle with that now.
That's true.
So in the generation, they did fail us that. But also we had a lot of back and still now we had a lot of fathers and a lot of male figures who wasn't in their life, and I'm not going to say them because growing up in my southern household, there was a lot on my side. In my family, every male was there, every single male was there. So I can't speak on the fathers who wasn't there. My father may not have came to like every one of my football games or my track meets or anything basketball games, but he showed me one thing, and that's to be a family man. And I think my uncles, my cousins, my older cousins and stuff like that showed everybody in my family how to be that. So in the generation I grew up in, they showed us that. They showed us how to be hardworking men and to be family men, to be there for our kids. And I've always wanted that for my family, to be there. And I think that's why I'm not going to say I'm a great father. I think I'm a good father. I'm at least there for my kids
Mm-hmm.
in an aspect to say, hey, I'm a great father. And I think that he missed that part. I think he said everything bad about that part, and he missed the commodity of about actually being men and fathers, about how you show us in the different aspects. Yes, they went to work, but did we ever miss the part of saying, hey, you had a roof over your head? You had a roof. Did you have food? You might not have the type of foods you want. We didn't have Chick-fil-A every day. We didn't have McDonald's. We didn't have that. But if you came home and you had clothes on your back, regardless of whether they were Jordans, Nike, you know, things that we always claim we want right now. If you had those aspects, you had, things on your back, you had a home. He missed that part. So I disagree. But I do agree with the aspects that, yeah, we failed because we weren't taught the things that we need to be taught with mental health and financial stability, with credit scores and how to take care of our mind and our body and get life insurance and those things to create the generational wealth that our kids need if we pass away. Like I'm gonna say it, like Caucasian people do. Yeah, we fail. So bam, that's my take on it. So yeah,
Well, listen, I'm gonna pause that because our guest just popped in the goddamn building.
you look like Bone Thugs and Harmony right
Gang, gang. But
No,
My
well,
fault, X. What was your question again, sir?
okay, so pretty much what I'm saying to the brothers here is this. Now, I asked brother Kazi, that's my man with the shades, and we got brother Comark, my man who got the Ice Cube going on, and pretty much I'm asking them, how do they feel, which I'm asking you, how do you feel based off the video in regards to the previous generation? Do you feel like you was failed from your mother or father's generation when it comes to bringing you to the world as a man?
So with the video, I watched the video, X, and I did agree on certain points. Like the professor said, we weren't, taught about credit, credit score, to put credit cards in your kids' name when they're, for 1 and 2 years old. That way, when they turn 18, they have perfect credit going on in the credit world. We weren't taught nothing like that. So we do that for our kids now, but like our parents didn't teach us the things that we know now. And so that's why I said I can agree with certain points of that aspect, but at the same time, they taught us a lot of different aspects: to work hard, to go out there and get it by any means, to not let like little things stop you or deter you from getting to the bag, or getting to your dreams or your aspects. Because we modeled a lot of people, but we just didn't have, like you were saying, that correct guidance. If we were had the correct guidance, like many of the other, I don't even want to say Caucasian brother professor, because if you look at the Indian folks, if you look at the Asian folks, if you look at any other ethnicity, they stay at home. They don't. Everybody put in their money together to go buy a home, a family home. They stay in that family home for years. It might be given to the eldest son or whatever the case may be for his family, and then it gets passed on. And we don't teach our kids that. We teach our kids that now. But the one thing I do want to caveat about that kind of bothered me is we as colored people, we like to say when we make things that we go back and take care of our parents. If you look at the Caucasian folks, they take care of their kids first. We go take care of our parents first. So like if I die today, I take care of my parents, my kids don't get anything. My parents were taken care of. So when I make it, I think about taking care of mama. I think about, getting mama a house or whatever the case may be. That's what we think about nowadays. And we should be thinking about putting our kids in a place to be in a better place. So when they grow up, they can do the same thing, kind of like the Caucasians have been doing for years, so to speak. But that's one thing I just wanted to kind of bring light to, that we need to do better as a people. We need to do better as putting our kids ahead, not going back and making sure grandma got a house. I love grandma. Don't get me wrong. I love grandma and mama to death, but we need to make sure we put our kids ahead, because our kids are the future. Grandma had a chance. Mama had a chance. So we need to make sure we put our kids ahead, bro. That's all I want to kind of say.
I agree with that 100%. I got one question before I play devil's advocate. I'm gonna start
Yes,
with
sir. Go
Brother
ahead.
Comart. Brother Comart, what do you think can help prevent this? And I ask this specifically because a lot of things play a role for guidance, and it's part of what I'm getting the devil's advocate. Now, there's a lot of homes that that could be fatherless and motherless, but some of this is by the parent's choice that affects the guidance that our kids are getting. So my question to you, if you had to give advice or opinion that can help correct it, what would you think it could be to fix this matter?
So let me start off by you said motherless or fatherless.
Mothers or fatherless homes, correct?
So remember we had this conversation. I think it was just me and you.
That's correct.
Remember how I said that we start by creating guidance places, just like I'm gonna say it, preparing tomorrow's athletes,
Correct.
or an IT place, or we give these kids a place where they can go to better themselves, where we are enhancing their abilities. They're going to learn a skill to make them better. You go in here and you say, "Hey, let me teach you coding. Let me teach you how to bump your credit score up. Let me teach you about life insurance. Let me teach you about um, how to get a house. Let me teach you about real estate. Let me teach you about something different. Even though your mother may not be here, your father may not be here. Your mother may be working till 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. You have that coach. You have that guidance counselor or whoever it may be to go pick this child up and bring them to this place. And it could be free. I'm not saying you have to even pay for it, but they bring them in, they sit them down for maybe an hour, 2 hours until that parent is there, and they guide them through these. I'm not even going to call them courses. Let's just say activities, and they could be fun, and they can say, "Hey, this is what you need to do step by step to get where you need to be, when you're older." And I talk to my kids a lot about, when they get to the 10th grade, your 11th grade year, there's a lot of schools out here right now. When you get to your 11th grade year, that you can get start your college courses. So when you hit the 12th grade, you can already have your associate's degree. you know so when you hit in college, you can get your start for your bachelor's degree. There are courses right now, like for my kids, there are classes right now where they can get coding. Tech schools, they're already on their tablets a lot right now. Why not start them early to already do that? There are kids out here that's smart enough to do it right now. Let's not already put them money instead of putting them in front of a TV and saying, "Hey, watch Coco Melon." Why, whatever this is, watch this instead. Do this, do these math problems, do this, this tech problem. Let's do this and see where your head is. See where this guidance is. We can do that. Instead of fighting me about, me coming over here and getting my daughter or me going and get my son. Hey, I'm coming over here to get my son, go take him to go see counselor Jack, about, I don't know, whatever it could be, social studies or history on God. I don't know, whatever it might be, just to better themselves. This is what we could be doing to just put them ahead about, putting $5 toward, YouTubing, picture class, filming class, something that's gonna better them in today's society. Just like like we're doing with Bitcoin. I don't even know if that's gonna be a thing later on down the line when money is no longer here. But it's just something that is moving toward the future instead of just pulling back and saying, "Hey, let me put you in football. Let me put you in basketball. Let me put you in baseball." Because that's what we're feeling. We're trying to push athletes. There's a 1% chance that you're going to make football. There's a 2% chance that you're going to make basketball. That's where we're failing kids right now. Because we're pushing sports instead of pushing technology. I mean, that's my take.
Brother White, man. Same question. Do you feel anything we can do as a collective to bring awareness to the situation to better the kids for tomorrow when it comes to guidance and better upbringing?
Well, the answer to that question should always be yes. There's always something we can always do to better our kids for the future. Like the professor say, instead of putting them in front of the TV, put them in front of a book. Or they watching you watching YouTube, put a specific YouTube on mathematics or reading. My dad used to have a saying, y'all. He said, "Reading is fundamental." So when I was a kid, we didn't have the internet. I had an encyclopedia, so I used to have to go find out